Hi everyone, welcome to your astrological forecast for Monday, November 22nd. Today the sun forms a conjunction with the south node of where we don't want to be headed in the first decanate of mutable fire Sagittarius with the keyword of devotion. When we have a planet conjunct a node, it automatically means it forms an opposition to the other node. So here the sun is focused on the past and opposing the future of where we want to be headed. The sun is devoted to being in tune with the infinite, in which it becomes attuned to the thoughts of the cosmic mind, which it radiates or expresses in an outward manner. Today you may be feeling connected to all living creatures, including nature. This is a time to trust implicitly the guidance bestowed upon you by the presence of God or the cosmic intelligence. If you feel impressed with a definite mission during this time, it is a good idea to follow what your inner voice is communicating to you. This is a time to trust your own judgment, for following the advice of others can cause you to fail or make mistakes. The sun opposes the north node in mutable air Gemini in the keyword intuition. Gemini may be about using your rational thinking mind, but in intuition, it has to do with seeing the entire picture of a situation. The sun may not be seeing the entire picture, but is following the dictates of following God's or the cosmic intelligence's infinite wisdom to fill a role that is a piece of the bigger picture. This opposition is not about knowing everything. It's about following the wisdom and knowledge bestowed upon you as to what you believe, what to do, and to follow your own inner guidance. Neptune in mutable water Pisces in the keyword of vicissitudes is retrograde and forming a harmonious aspect to Mars in fixed water Scorpio in the keyword of responsibility. Neptune retrograde is precessing backwards to catch up on things that need to be revisited. Mars's responsibility is to fight and take action with passionate force. The key here is to channel that energy into lofty ambitions and ideals and work to attain spiritual heights. People may be called to fight for what is right. Neptune in vicissitudes may call for people to take action in moving or helping those that are preparing to cross over to the spirit side of life. I believe we'll see people taking action against those standing in the way of unity, and also people feeling emotionally aggressive to life situations that may propel them to move. But Mars also forms a harmonious aspect to Venus, so we may see people serving others in a loving way. Today you may find yourself being attracted to a person of the opposite sex and have a sexual or intimate experience with that person. Another interesting aspect to Venus in Capricorn in the keyword of martyrdom is people finding emotional strength to move beyond a circumstance, situation, or relationship that otherwise couldn't move past previously. Hope you guys have a wonderful Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, everyone. Hi, everyone. This is your astrological forecast for Tuesday, November 23rd. The moon in 16 degrees Cancer with the keyword revelation forms a water grand trine, which is the best aspect possible to Neptune in 20 degrees Pisces with the keyword vicissitudes, and Mars in 16 degrees Scorpio with the keyword of responsibility. This is wonderful news for the day. The receptive moon is in her home sign, which is very feelings-based. The moon's subrulership is Scorpio-Pluto, which has to do with the struggle with our sensual desires. But more than that, this has to do with overcoming limitations imposed upon us by death. With the moon placed here, we may find we have a natural aptitude to communicate with those who have crossed over, and these souls may guide us in some way. The moon is our soul, our survival instincts, as well as our reflector. Today the moon is reflecting her message in a positive way to Mars and Neptune. She's reflecting the feelings of our soul and of the soul of the collective to Mars, who is wanting to use his animal instinctual desires to overpower someone or something. His energy must be used in a manner that produces positive things for someone or for the collective. Otherwise, the misuse of this energy may be focused on doing something bad or evil that the person will regret later. Now, Neptune is divine love or unity consciousness and associated with dreams and dissolving boundaries. In the keyword of vicissitudes, Neptune is an advocator for those who are dying. For Neptune is the planet that prepares us for life after death. But for us individually, Neptune is about adaptability and excitement for change. Neptune is often confusing and illusory and seems to enjoy the fun amidst the confusion. Neptune is in a mutable water sign and is a transcendent planet. So we find the emotional nature expressed here is more on the level of advancing the collective in a confusing way that is hard to understand and illusory towards how we feel. Today may be the day you're feeling some sort of change is needed, whether it be changing jobs, moving, getting out of a relationship, or something else entirely. You may also be having deep feelings toward a loved one who is sick or who has already passed on. Hi everyone, this is your astrological forecast for Wednesday, November 24th. From morning until midday, the moon will be in 28 degrees cardinal water Cancer and the keyword research, forming a trine, the best aspect possible, to Mercury in 29 degrees fixed water Scorpio in the keyword attainment. The moon loves being in her home sign of Cancer, and today she's curious and expressing what she's learned below the surface. The moon's receptivity today loves spying out secrets, whether they be the secrets of nature or researching things most people are unaware of. And so she's in harmony with Mercury, our practical thinking mind, in the emotionally based sign of Scorpio. Mercury is in the keyword attainment and is in connection with the moon in research and is reflecting on how to carry our soul to the highest summit of physical and mental achievement. Today you may experience vivid thoughts, ideas, or emotions specifically about what you've learned, or, and more specifically, what you've learned about what's going on in your home or country. By the afternoon, the moon moves into the fixed fire sign of Leo with the keyword rulership, forming a harmonious aspect to the south node, where we don't want to be headed, and the sun. The moon also forms a sextile, a minor harmonious aspect to the north node, which is where we want to be headed. The sun, in connection with the past or south node, is illuminating his dominance to heal the past based on the information he's receiving from the moon, which holds the samskaras or mental impressions which are impressed upon us. By the afternoon, the moon moves into the fixed fire sign Leo with the keyword rulership, forming a harmonious aspect to the south node where we don't want to be headed, and the sun. The moon also forms a sextile, a minor harmonious aspect to the north node, which is where we want to be headed. The sun, in connection with the past or south node, is illuminating his dominance to heal the past based on the information he's receiving from the moon, which holds the samskaras, or mental impressions, which are wounds held in our consciousness. So the sun is working to heal us individually as well as collectively, which needs to be done before we move into the future. The moon's harmonious aspects to the south node, the sun, and north node shows she's sharing the information she's gaining from her research into the nature of things. She's reflecting our feelings, moods, and our pain from our trauma to where we are to be able to be going, which today looks like we need to heal something in our past so we can move into a better tomorrow. Hi everyone, this is your astrological forecast for Thursday, November 25th. The moon stays in its harmonious aspect to the south node and sun today. However, she forms a disharmonious aspect to Uranus in 11 degrees fixed Earth Taurus with the keyword struggle. The struggle referred to here is the battle between physical and mental forces, wherever they are focused. Uranus will go to great lengths to cause obstacles in its way to crumble because he is about freedom, liberation, and independence. Uranus acts erratically and spontaneously like lightning. He will rebel against the status quo. He will rebel against restrictions. Why? Because he is all about his freedom to express. Last time Uranus was in Taurus, we had the Great Depression, and we're seeing rising inflation and people panic buying. We're seeing ships stuck at ports unable to deliver goods. All kinds of things are happening as Uranus works to crumble earthly systems, to invoke a change in the way that things are done. By midday, the moon moves into the second or love decanate of fixed fire Leo in the keyword reformation. So the moon is reflecting the current weaknesses in both religion and politics. The moon's receptibility is working with people in politics and religion to gain followers. Uranus, being the higher wisdom mind, isn't buying into what these people are saying or believing in, because the second decanate of Leo that the moon is in is about people using their minds to suppress the truth and foist ignorance and superstitions upon society. Uranus is in conflict with the moon's message, for he has bigger plans that break us free from the lies, deceit, and propaganda that aim at the truth, for he is the enlightened mind. Venus in 16 degrees cardinal Earth Capricorn with the keyword martyrdom forms a sextile or harmonious aspect to Neptune in mutable water Pisces in the keyword of vicissitudes. Venus's love nature is expressing her desire to carry on despite setbacks and utilize every condition to persist and carry out her purpose. She's expressing these sentiments to Neptune, who is the higher octave of Venus, which is that of divine love in regard to unity consciousness. Neptune is very elusive and hard to understand, so we can be confused as to the message Neptune sends out. However, Neptune is about love for all humanity and all living things. And in this love, we may see things we don't like or agree with because we don't know the Creator's divine plan for our own lives or that of all humanity. We may see deaths of people we love or lose our jobs because Neptune has a bigger plan than we can conceive of with our rational minds. As a transcendent planet, Neptune is concerned with the collective, and sometimes that involves repositioning people to places, jobs, or communities they never would have moved to if it weren't for Neptune's influence. So you may find yourself angry or confused as to why things are happening the way they are. However, there is a much bigger plan taking shape that Neptune is preparing us for. We just have to take setbacks in stride, and as Venus is expressing, carry on despite these setbacks. This harmonious aspect says things will be all right if you trust that God or the universe is changing your life in some way so that you can grow, heal, and be of service in a way you never dreamed of before. Hi everyone, this is your astrological forecast for Friday, November 26th, 2021. The moon is in the third or spiritual decanate of fixed fire Leo with the keyword of ambition, squaring Mars in fixed water Scorpio with the keyword responsibility, and opposing Jupiter in cardinal air Aquarius with the keyword of repression. The moon in Leo is expressing her emotions associated with creative expression. Here we have the receptive moon in the fiery Leo expressing the power of love combined with leadership. The moon is reflecting our ability to rise in life despite our obstacles. With the disharmonious aspect going on today, we may see people sacrificing their friends, family, co-workers, and associates in order to rise in power. On the good side of this, we may see people working for or being of service to society by using their natural gifts and abilities to help others. With the moon's opposition to Jupiter in repression, there seems to be this need today for many to use their power and influence to keep their fellow man in repression. The moon's square to Mars in responsibility seems to go against those fighting for their rights and duty to uphold their values toward their home and country. This may be a hostile day for those fighting for their beliefs versus those working with their power and knowledge to keep them in their place. The lesson today is not to go up against the people who believe they are on a higher pedestal than you. Saturn in fixed air Aquarius with the keyword originality has been using his creativity to keep everyone in line with his rules, laws, boundaries, which are meant to create fear, anxiety, depression, and even death. Saturn has been squaring off with Uranus in fixed Earth Taurus in the keyword of struggle for quite some time now. The rules, laws, and restrictions are causing Uranus to become angered. This is why we're seeing the restriction of things on this earth, such as gas, oil, coal, minerals, wood, and food. Prices are going to continue to rise and inflate because Uranus has to shock people in order for them to wake up. Last time Uranus was in Taurus, we had the Great Depression. Uranus wants freedom, liberation, and independence, but he must use his innovative abilities to get his message across. One of those innovative abilities is being caused by Saturn restricting things of the earth from the people. Unfortunately, we may see shortages of many everyday items and products we depend on until people realize that Saturn, who represents governments, are the ones actually causing the inflation and shortages of goods. Once Saturn moves past Uranus, we'll see a let-up of this, but it won't be until the end of February of 2022. Hi everyone, this is your astrological forecast for Saturday, November 27th. Early morning through evening, the moon in mutable Earth Virgo squares the North Node and South Node. The key word for the moon is achievement. Virgo is about service work and using our minds in practical ways to figure things out. The moon is our instincts, habitual actions, and survival responses. Today she's active and restless and mixing with all of life's experiences to stimulate her soul. The achievement she is striving towards, sifting through her beliefs, ideas, and facts in order to come to some form of information or truth that feeds her soul in a sustaining way. In your life, you may find yourself sifting through information in order to fulfill your soul with a truth that becomes a source of fuel for your mind, body, and soul. The conflict between the moon and the nodes is the conflict of which direction your soul wants to go today. Today we have to look at the past and understand it in order to move in a direction towards a brighter future. This is the day where we may feel we are being guided towards the truth from someone or something, a guide, a religious figure, a family member or loved one who has crossed over, or from the guidance of God, the source, or the universe. The moon also forms a trine, which is the best aspect possible to Uranus in fixed Earth Taurus in the keyword of struggle. The good news is because Uranus is pulling information from the moon's innate ability to collect, reflect, and disseminate all that she has sifted through. Uranus is enlightened thinking, so he's supporting the moon in looking at things differently from an enlightened perspective. Uranus has been restricted by Saturn for a long time now with rules, laws, mandates imposed by governments. And Uranus is working to break free because he is the planet of freedom, liberation, and independence. And in the keyword of struggle, he is battling physical and mental forces in a manner that will cause those imposing the restrictions on him to crumble. Uranus is currently retrograde. However, there is big news coming towards the end of January and through February when Uranus moves direct. And Saturn moves past Uranus where they no longer aspect one another. I'll talk about this in another video as to the specifics to this aspect, as we may see the ending of the rules, laws, and restrictions that are holding us back on so many levels. All right, this is your astrological forecast for Sunday, November 28th. The moon moves into the second or love decanate of mutable Earth Virgo with the keyword experience. The experience referred to here is the duality of good and evil, or light versus dark. The moon's receptivity should be exceptionally useful if you understand the temptations of dark or evil and act in a discerning way through the use of your powerful mind, feelings, and intuition, so you don't fall or give in to the darkness, but rather stay in your beautiful light. Venus and Pluto are both in cardinal Earth Capricorn, forming a harmonious aspect to the moon. Venus's keyword is martyrdom, which she is using her love wisdom in connection with the moon to discern good versus evil in her attempt to work towards a worthy and positive aim for humanity. She has many setbacks, but has the ability to carry on. Today she is in tune with those who are working on her side versus those working to sabotage her efforts. Pluto's keyword is idealism, and his connection with the moon may take place in the spiritual world with beings of light and darkness that are unseen to most of us. Pluto is the unseen, the secretive, as well as evolution. He may be working with the spiritual worlds in a way that manifests here on the physical plane. Once the spiritual battle of light and dark is sifted through, Pluto can then finish the development of his plans and execute them. On the physical plane, Pluto may be working with people on both sides in an effort to get his plans accomplished. To be clear, Pluto must destroy the old patterns and structures, old ways of thinking, old ways of doing things, in order to heal that which no longer serves us. It is only then that Pluto, as well as humanity, can bring forth a new ideal world. This is the transformation that Pluto is working on, but it takes a gigantic effort, lots of intensive labor, as well as exposing corruption and bad things that some people don't want to look at or even acknowledge. However, just as a caterpillar begins in a cocoon, it eventually wrestles itself free to fly with beautiful wings. The beautiful world that we are seeking to fly off into is coming, but first we have to wrestle our way out of the cocoon that is binding us. Hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye, everyone.